All right, everyone, we are starting. This is the Troy Show, and I think this is the third masterclass. And I know everyone gets tired of my face, so I brought a guest speaker today, and it's Jessica York, and she has a much better presence because she has a lot more experience in some of these things. I'm kind of a technology nerd. So, first of all, I want to welcome Jessica. And Jessica, thank you for joining us. And I know that people are going to be jumping on board. And so once you jump on board, just say hi in the chat so we kind of know you're here. And I would also say ask questions whenever they come up. We'll be looking at the chat. And so we use a software called Restream. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a delay to get that. So be a little patient. And if and Lisa, if you Lisa's my assistant, and if she sees some questions not being answered, she'll prompt it up too, because Restream expands to multiple platforms, and sometimes it doesn't really always tie in together. So I'm from Las Vegas. I've been here since January. So I'm getting used to the weather, but now finally it's getting cooler. It was an average of 110 to 120 degrees over here, which is kind of ridiculous for me. So, and Jessica,
That is really hot. And
yeah, it's really not my cup of tea. I'm here because I was laying low and developing software in the Skoop application, and my daughter has a great school here, and we have family here. So I'm from Atlanta, so I moved over here just so I can kind of concentrate on the Troy Show, some of the products, our current clients, and kind of knock all the other noise out. And so, Jessica, you are originally from LA, or you're in the outskirts of LA, is that right?
yes, I was in LA for 20 years and I just moved to Heartland, Wisconsin, a little tiny village outside of Milwaukee, for family reasons as well. But I split my time between here and Hermosa Beach, which is just outside of LA proper. It's just south of the LA airport. So I hear you on the weather thing.
Well,
It's
LA is
and I
huge.
know that I don't even know
LA
what's
is
headed for me.
huge. So usually when you're in LA, you have to stay at a quadrant, right? Because you really can't travel around in a single, in a very small time frame.
Yes, we call them
Bubbles.
bubbles, and you stay within your bubble. And in fact, I stayed within my bubble. So I lived in an area called the South Bay, which is the south part of the Santa Monica Bay, just south of the LAX airport. And, going 3 miles could take
Oh
you
my
30 minutes.
gosh.
So you really like, yeah, once everybody became digital
Yeah.
nomads, I mean, I would have to go into Hollywood a lot for my work, but otherwise, I would just stay right in my little bubble within
Oh,
my bubble. Yeah, traffic is it's a
Atlanta's
beast
bad,
out
but
there,
it's not
that's for
that bad.
sure.
That that just sounds that sounds insane. Um, So
Yeah.
I'm originally from Atlanta. I'm currently in Las Vegas. You are on the outskirts of LA. We have Lisa joining us from Kenya. And so, if everyone wants to tell us where you're calling in from, that would be very helpful, just so we can see how it is. How's the weather? And the weather is actually pretty nice now. So I'm pretty blessed with that. And so, as people are joining, feel free to tell me where you're from, and if you have anything in particular you want to talk about, let me know. So, first of all, I was going to show a little video of me, but then I realized, oh, I don't want to be a jerk. It's just this is really about the guest speaker, and you should be on the left side. And so I'm moving you over here.
Well,
And so I want to know a little more. I know we had a conversation and we were introduced, and I looked at your not your profile but your website, and you've done a lot of work. And one thing that came up with some of my own clients, so I do a lot of LinkedIn application development, websites, Fortune 500, smaller projects as well. And the Skoop application we have does the instant video, and it does a lot of other stuff too. But we realized that a lot of people don't feel comfortable in using video and something in an instant way, and I didn't understand that. So so I was
You
like,
are so lucky.
I just didn't get it. I'm like, I don't know, just do it. I don't like, I don't get it. But then I realized I'm not a normal person. So and you're explaining that majority of people that may have not grown up with doing things like this or don't have it as part of their process, have difficulty, and they may have a block or they may have something that prevents them from being successful in some of their personalization. And so and you're telling me that, and I was like, you know what, I think this would be a great episode. And I actually called one of my clients and say, join the event. And he said, okay, I'm joining. You know, I don't know if he's here right now, but oh, and Lisa doesn't like video as well. And
Yeah,
video converts so much better. And it's not just video, it's personalization, because people don't like bots. They don't like robots. They don't like being a number. They want to talk to a human, and that's why it converts so much better. So tell me about your thoughts on this, because I'm very good at what I do, but I'm very ignorant, obviously, on some of these other aspects.
Well, first of all, Troy, you are a unicorn. Most people do not like to be on camera naturally. I was one of them way back in the day, but from a very early age, my dad was a big tech adopter. So
Mhm.
if you came over to my house to play, we would absolutely be making commercials or playing news reporter in the backyard and with my dad's high 8 camera. So for me, I was always behind the scenes, but when I was
Mm.
in college, my some of my professors just kind of broke down the hierarchy and really pushed me towards being on camera. But I was not natural for a long time. I would get really nervous. I mean, I would sweat through my clothes, my cheeks would shake right here. I had this nervous tick that when I was a baby broadcaster and I was doing the weather, people would write in about how nervous I got. So what's funny is I hated it at the time because it it was like these nerves, if I don't get a hold of them, could ruin
Mhm.
my career. But they've made me the perfect teacher now to coach people through that, or tools that allowed me to harness that energy, use it for good. And if you are somebody that gets nervous on camera, know that you're not alone. I mean, these are US statistics, but I think we can
Mhm.
apply them to humanity. Public speaking is the number one fear. It's
Mhm.
over death of the surveys that have been taken
Do we
in of
usually say
the
over
US
death?
people. It's
So,
yeah,
so,
people are
so
more
death is number
scared.
two. Public
Yes,
speaking is number one.
number one,
Oh
public
my
speaking is
goodness.
number one. And it's interesting because I used to host a travel show and one of my favorite places that we went to was Kenya.
Mhm.
And one of my guides, whose American name was Jackson, he was a Maasai warrior, and he explained to me that the Maasai people do not appreciate their photo being taken because it feels like they steal it's like it's stealing your soul. And he broke it
Mhm.
down to me this way. He says, when you pull out a camera, you change, and that change is forever imprinted on history. So it's not like when someone takes a candid photo, it's one thing, but most people go and they change. And so, and it got to me that we all do that because we want to be preserved in a way that we think is perfect,
Yeah,
right? There
like
is
rememberable and
exactly.
yeah.
There's like a safety built in. And so really it does kind of steal your soul because it changes it. And I'll go through this when we talk deeper. There is a safety mechanism that goes off in your brain that says, if people reject me or judge me, I'm not going to be safe. And so we
Mhm.
have to we have to gain some mental tools to override that system. And then once you override it, it's very easy.
Mhm.
And what you said is true. Video is so powerful because I want you to think about this. If I sent you a friend request on Facebook and you never knew who I was, you would probably look at it, first see if we had anybody in common, and then you would look to see what kind of things I post. If I just post memes and written text, you don't really get a sense of who I am and if that's
And
me or
eh,
if I'm a
how
robot.
you are as a person.
Exactly. If
Yeah.
I post pictures, that gives you a little more, but the moment you see me on video, it changes.
Mhm,
You instantly know whether you can get to know me if you want to know me, you can
mhm,
trust me, and if you like me. No, trusting and liking
mhm,
is these are key elements in business. And so now that we've come to this place where people can make videos at home and we can interact with videos, you really need to start harnessing this power tool for your business. And so it's funny because when I started in television, the thought of actually broadcasting from my home was absurd.
mm.
But through the pandemic, it's now commonplace. And
Yes,
so
it's amazing
people that
how
are
the whole
actually
attitude
using
has changed, right? Remote work is pretty normal,
absolutely
and, going into the office seems almost weird, for a lot of professions anyway.
right, and what I love about the product that you've created is that video isn't just for people like me who've worked in television for almost 30 years and who have produced shows. It's literally for instant
Mhm.
communication. It's for getting your message across the way it's supposed to be received. Because very often you could write a text message that says, "That's okay, I'm fine." And it could be interpreted as, "That's okay, I'm fine," or "That's
I'm
okay, I'm
awful at te
fine."
I'm
But
awful at
people
text. To be completely honest, back in the day, I used to just break up with people over text because I couldn't like, I don't have the ability to go back and forth on text. So I have no patience, because I'm like, "Why don't you just pick the phone up and talk?" Because there's a difference between a text and a conversation, in my mind anyway. But people like having full conversations on text, and I have a hard time understanding what they really mean. And so I said, "Well, can you just give me a call?" Because I think a text should be, "Are you there? What's the address?" Just those kind of things, right? But a lot of people will have whole conversations, and I'm just not built that way. And I remember I ended a few relationships, like when I was a younger guy. I ended in relationships because I just got so frustrated because they wouldn't pick the phone up, and I still don't get it. And so I realize there's certain things that I do are not atypical for someone else. Whether it's logical or not is irrelevant, but communicating in a way that's clear is really important. And so, yeah, people will not get an idea of who you are from a text. They're like, this person is awful. And they're just communicating maybe. We have Donna here. Oh, Donna has weekly videos on YouTube and posts links on social media. Do you think that is a good, or should I also share videos on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn? Um, well, I it depends on what you're doing. I have about 5 posts on average a week. And some of those are videos, some of those are slides, some of those are images. So I do mix it up a little bit, but personalized videos work really well on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn because it shows you're a real person. And so those candid videos that you do with the phone are very, very powerful. Um, and so I think it shows a level of being authentic, and then to get to know what you're doing, because at the end of the day, the no like trust factor is important. And if they see you as a person, they can see things that relate to them. For example, oh, he posts links on his YouTube channel. Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you want to upload the video. You don't want to post a link of your YouTube video on LinkedIn, because because I'm a LinkedIn expert, kind of a nerd, but LinkedIn they downgrade you, so they like original content. So if you do create some content on LinkedIn, make sure it's actually uploaded to LinkedIn.
it's also, I think, where are your ideal customers or the people you're trying to reach? Where do they live? And
Hmm.
then When Facebook was first started doing a lot of videos, this is before Reels, when they were starting something called Facebook Watch. It
Hmm.
took them out of somebody's Facebook feed and put them into still Facebook, but it didn't feel like you were still in your feed. And the
Hmm.
statistics were tremendous that people do not like to be in LinkedIn and then go to YouTube.
Yep. That
It's
makes
so
good. That
weird
makes sense.
because it's an easy switch and they can toggle back. So you want to post you want to take that video and embed it in wherever it is so it seems as natural as though it lived there as possible. And I know that a lot of people like to put like Instagram links or YouTube links within Facebook, but people don't really love to click on something that takes them elsewhere. They feel very safe where they are. So if it's possible, repost them there. I know it's hard because you're trying to get YouTube links, or you might be trying to get your YouTube numbers up, but if you're going on YouTube but you're really going after like the business audience,
Mhm.
they're more on LinkedIn. So I would post the video there anyway. And then you can tell them for my weekly videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then they can go
Let's talk
directly
about
there.
video a little bit. Video for LinkedIn, the best kind of video is usually 30 seconds to about a minute and a half long. If it's longer than that, then maybe it's more of an
Mhm.
educational thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But generally, you want to keep it short because people want to get to the meat of it. And so, LinkedIn is not just for posts. We're going to talk about how to use it in direct messages, email, outreach, text, you name it. Because if you are trying to generate business, you may have a post, and then you may have to comment on that post to interact with the person. You can actually insert a video in the comment. People don't know that. You can use Skoop to do that, and then you can take that off and then actually send a direct message, a LinkedIn DM. So they've already seen you. There's a higher probability of them replying on the DM. And if you send a video on the DM, it's very personalized. That's where you kind of convert that person into a vetted booked meeting, whether it's email or Gmail or LinkedIn DM. Jessica, you have to forgive me. I think we skipped right to it, and I didn't really introduce you. I know that you do a lot. Since we have the people on and looking at it right now, can you tell us a little bit about you, what you've done, your history? Because you have quite a resume as far as the camera is concerned.
Absolutely. So, in case you missed it before, I actually started my career out when I was very young because my dad was an early tech adopter. So I was working with video from the time I was about in fifth grade. But I got my first break in high school. I was your high school announcement girl. And then in college, I was pretty much video focused.
Wow.
I became a news reporter right out of college. Immediately realized that news was not my speed. I salute every news warrior out there because they cover some of the underbelly of society. I switched over. I went into PR for a moment while I figured out what I was going to do with my journalism degree. And then I found a ski network TV station that was called Resort Sports Network, became Outside Television. And there I pitched and sold my own thrill seeking show and my own travel show. And I traveled the world for about 12 years, which was
Wow.
amazing. And I
Sounds fun.
hosted and produced that show, and it was phenomenal.
Well,
And then
you're actually Emmy nominated host, right?
yes, yes. So that show was nominated for. I was
So tell me about the show
nominated
again.
as.
What's the name of the show?
It was called Hot Spots.
Hot Spots. Okay.
Hotspots. Yep, and that was an incredible job, one that I would take back any day. Um, but from there, I was based out of Portland, Maine, and that was a really hard place to get to. And I started always working in New York and Chicago and LA, and I had a show on HGTV, and
Mhm.
I ended up moving to LA because that's really where the action was. And I was a sideline reporter for TV Guide. They had a sports network. And then from there, I hosted game shows and I did a bunch of other projects in until I found my next like 10-year project which was an entertainment reporter for Dish Network. And that was a great job because I got to interview celebrities, but it wasn't gossipy. So I didn't have to ask anyone about whether or not they were breaking up or what happened with their DUI. It was
They
just
all have
project
DUIs.
specific. I got to interview. Right, right, exactly. I got to interview some of the biggest celebrities out there, and in fact, Morgan Freeman redid my voicemail
Oh,
on my
nice.
phone, and that was all amazing until
Mm,
COVID hit, and as you can imagine, when the world shut down, all the entertainment jobs went away, the red carpet shut down, movies slowed down, and so my job being on camera shut down, but the rest of the world seemed to be going on camera for
mhm,
business and work and school. And so all of a sudden, my coaching business
mm,
exploded. And I started to really understand, wow, me being a nervous Nelly in the beginning of my career and having panic attacks on air, and everything I learned to get over that is now I'm realizing, oh my gosh, that
mhm.
is gold because nobody wanted to lead a team in a Fortune 500 company and pretend to be an on-air
Yeah,
talent, right? That's not what they meant to do. So I had a lot of people, to nurses to school teachers, coming to me to say, how do I get over this fear of being on camera? And also, how can I become a more effective communicator on camera? And
yeah.
truly, people some people make it look easy, like you, where they're just naturally good on camera, right?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm
They're
naturally
not
good at camera.
nervous.
I'm just bluntly honest, and there's a small segment of people that appreciate, like, I just need the information he's given, and
Right.
so it doesn't like my only job is to try to provide value to the individuals I'm engaging with. That's it, and so I don't have any other ulterior motives other than that value aligns with my business model. You know.
That is really one of the core things. When you're nervous, it's all about you, right?
Hmm.
And as soon as you can flip that and make it all about your audience, like how
Hmm.
can I serve them best? What do they need? How can I communicate best? How can I answer their questions? The energy is off of you and it's on them.
Hmm.
And it's an energy transfer that your audience can feel. One of the people that I was fortunate to interview in my career was Simon Cowell, and this
Hmm.
was when he was on American Idol. And I said, how do you know who has the it factor? And he
Mhm,
said something that really hit home. And I use people walk around with a big sign on their forehead that says, validate me. And everything they do,
mm,
they want to know if they're okay, if they're in the club, if they're doing it right. And he said the people
mhm,
that have the it factor don't have that sign on their head. They come
mm,
validated. They validate themselves. They aren't looking for approval or acceptance. And so when you show up to your audience and
mhm,
you don't have this nervous energy like, I hope that I do okay. I hope I'm perfect. I hope they like me. But you have I know what I'm doing. I'm here to serve you. I don't want you to be nervous on camera anymore. And I'm going to show
mhm,
you how you can become a charismatic and confident communicator. It's a
mhm.
totally different energy. And your
Yeah.
audience then enjoys the interaction because they don't have anything to do. When you show up with an energy that says, please accept me, am I okay? They have a job to do, validate you, right? When
Oh,
you show
yeah.
up and you just allow them to enjoy and be there for what they need, it's a
Mhm.
totally different experience. And that's what creates a relationship and an experience where people want to continue with you.
Yeah, we know that absolutely makes sense. I don't wanna really I'll run my introduction at the end, so we'll get to the meat of everything. I have a little video about, what I do, and I'll just put it on the tail end. But I'm Troy, I'm the not so boring LinkedIn guy, and I have an IT background. I build software, I build systems, for communication, really for business and sales, but communication is the core of all sales, and I am by no means a salesperson. I'm the person that gets stuff done. So I pick up projects and I just try to connect the dots to help other individuals. So we put these set of slides together, and there's really two things that we're going to talk about. communication with video, and getting over your fear of the camera. And so we talked about a lot of people having issues or obstacles, and they just need to get over some of those obstacles. So one of the things that I've developed that covered a gap in the market is called Skoop. And so that software is something we're going to be giving away. I spent about 3 years with the idea and had a server system. And then we spent 6 months to develop that first version of Skoop. And we spent about $200,000 of getting it out. And we have about 400 people already using it. And we launched about 2 months ago. So for this event, I'll be giving it away for free. And of course, it's a free trial, but I also give you a code to give some perks. The reason I'm doing this is so people will get using not just the software, but have to be comfortable on camera and to communicate better. So if you're on LinkedIn, a lot of your stuff is at the end of the day sales driven. It's relationship driven that converts into sales. And so here, and I'll go ahead and make this one the main one if I can. I have to forgive me. I don't know how to use this thing. So we got 3 things here. We have one registration link. And so there's so much we're giving away. Last time I made a mistake and I gave all the different links and it went kind of crazy. So what I'm doing is giving one link, and that one link is register for Skoop. And when you do that, we'll give you access to the software. We'll give you a coupon for the code. We'll also provide free training. I have Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I typically charge about $300 an hour. I have these meetings for free. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, ask me anything business. There's no sales involved. How to use this, and then how to become better at LinkedIn or social media, or how to use Skoop to communicate better to convert some of your meetings. And then we have a challenge that we put together. And so we talked to each other and we're saying, well, how can we put this information together in a way that makes sense for people to actually do it? So you have a software, and then you have the idea, and then you have to do it. So practice makes perfect, or prepping for practice increases your ability to just get stuff done. And at the end of the day, people will see you, they'll hear you, and they'll end up knowing you as a person. And those are the things that really build relationships. So how to create candid video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide this. And how many people are interested in doing video or getting over video? Well, you need a tool. So if you're interested in Skoop and getting a free copy of it and getting access to all these resources, do me a favor and click 1 in the chat. And then what we're going to do here, and we're going to get this out of the way, and we'll show it now, and then we'll show it a little bit later. And so there's one link. And so feel free to grab that link. And Lisa, if you want to type that link, retype it in. But Skoop is with a K, not with a C. Unfortunately, we couldn't purchase the C domain. So it's scoopapp.com/demo. And so definitely click on that, or type. Well, you won't be able to click on it. Type that in. And Lisa, if you can type it in the chat so they can copy and paste, that'd be great. And there is a code, all capital, AWDEKI. Doesn't stand for anything. It's just a random code. And what that will do is allow you to get some additional perks. And once we see that in, we'll go ahead and give you access to this set of slides, the challenge, access to us. We'll give you our information that you can connect with us. So if you want to send videos to us and we can give you feedback, we'll also have access to the Tuesdays and Thursday meetings. So we're definitely giving a lot away. And so feel free. I'll keep this on for a moment. I would definitely do it right now. It's a software, works on Chrome. So if you have Chrome browser, you can download it. And if you go to this demo app and just click the button, and let me go ahead and get to the next screen here. It looks like this. There's a video and there's a green button, and just click on the Get Skoop Now for free. And so I'll hold it here just for a second. And then we'll move on to the next thing here. And so, see what screen. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to move around at how to create candid video. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'll turn off my video and keep, can you hear me still?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because sometimes the videos will fight because Skoop is a video software and then this is a video software as well. And then so I'll go ahead and share my screen. And I'll just show you a couple of uses of why this is so powerful. Video is so powerful. So right here, I'll go through. Oh, this is some feedback. So I tend to get about 6x conversion compared to text. This person got 37.5. I don't know where they got the 0.5, but everyone's results are a little bit different depending on what you're doing. So Skoop is a software that sits on top of your platform. And it looks like this. It has a big old button for video. You can store messages for quick replies. You can use ChatGPT. You can store the videos. You can also have your CTA link, and you can send it to whoever you want that has a tab. So we have these two people that have a tab. It also works on comments and replying. And in our next version, we're adding an ability to create content, create images, or scan videos to create content and information. So this was a big request. And so Skoop is really designed for two areas. Number one is designed for number one is designed for your DMs, your emails, your outreach. Number two is designed for content, so your social media. So this one right here is my post. So let's go to the home page, and I'll give you a quick example. And this is a post that came up, and a lot of times I'll use this feature because I may not understand what's happening, and I may want to structure the idea. And so this is very helpful because it allows you to reply, allows you to make changes, and then it also will allow you to add video if you want. So this, I could say, so I know this is Monique, and yeah, and then I kind of absorb what it is, and I have a message already, and right now it will not record because we're using this software here. So what I'll end up doing is grabbing a video just to show you how it works. And I knew this might have been a problem. And I can grab a video and I can copy it. And I can just paste it in here, and I won't send it because the video is not relating to this post. I'll give you an example. And the video will show here, and I can hit comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that and just send that comment. And the other thing is that if you have people in your DMs that you want to have a conversation with, you can always reply to those individuals. And let's take an example of someone connecting with me. So if this is my network, I go to my connections. And I usually wait a day. I already talked to Alexis. I had a meeting with her yesterday. And say, Marisa here, I may want to send her a video, right? And typically I would open up the message box. She actually attended last event and she connected just recently. And then what I would end up doing is actually creating a video. Now I pre-recorded something, so I'll just show that. I'll go ahead and stop the share. And that way the video stuff will work, and I'll go ahead and grab it. So I knew this may have been an issue. And let me see here. Here's a quick demo. Here's a quick example of how to use Skoop. Once you install it, you have the icon here. You have the ability to format the different size videos. You can do voice memos. You can create predetermined messages to reply quickly. It has Chat GPT built in. You can create your own prompts or use the prompts there. It has unlimited storage. You have your calendar that you can add to the event, as well as either your calendar or the Skoop's calendar. If you don't have one, it'll tie to your it will tie to your current Google or Microsoft calendar. And you notice that we're on Ed's page here, and we also have Ed's tabs, so we have Ed twice there. We have more tabs, you have more people there, so you can definitely select that. So if I wanted to select a message to start for something like a welcome message, if they just connected with me, for example, I may do something like this, and then just say, "Hey Ed, make a minor change. Thanks for supporting me on the event today. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions, and I'll just say enjoy, and I'm referring to the video I'm about to put in there, right? And I'll go ahead and create a video. Hey Ed, I want to say thank you for helping me here on the event today and supporting, being the co-sponsor. And I think your experience with Skoop is better because I'm actually the creator. So I may be a bit biased, even though we have a lot of testing involved. So I really appreciate your efforts. If there's anything that I can do for you, definitely let me know. And I do have a lot of details on my profile. So if you don't see that, give me a call. You have my phone number. All right. Thanks again. And I will talk to you soon. And then what you can do, it'll upload the video. You can go ahead and change the title. I'll say, thanks Ed for your help. And a little happy face, hit save, and I'll add it in there. I have Ed already selected. I just go ahead and hit send. And what happens is it sends it to their message thing there. And you notice that it has a nice little message. There's a space, it's context, there's a video, and there is a title for the video. Once you click on that, it has a nice little title here that you put in there. It has the booking link that will go directly to the calendar link, and it has the video. And that's it. It's super easy to use. They're able to access your booking link, and they give context for that. And it opens another tab, and it's a single click. So that's pretty important. So that's it.
Oh, I think you might be on mute.
Yeah, I just realized. I said, I hope you like that. I knew that Restream was going to take over the camera, and I was like, oh, well, good thing I have this video in there. I can go ahead and play that. So I find when I do a welcome video, I talk about them. I say, thank you for connecting. I really appreciate it. I see that you do A, B, and C because I'm looking at their profile. And by doing that, you're actually talking to that individual. You're speaking to them with their name. And I just asked them to take a look at my profile. I mean, I have like 30,000 connections, so they might want to take a look at it. And I asked them, I said, well, if there are any dots to connect, feel free to send me your booking link and I'll schedule some time with you. Always open for a conversation. And I noticed with a few lines of text, a short video, and the titling the video, I get about 6 times conversion rate. So typical conversion rates are really low. There's about 3-4% to a vetted book meeting, not for a reply, but for a vetted book meeting. And I noticed that my rate went up from 3% to 20%. That means for every five videos I send, I get a booked meeting, and it's vetted. They want to talk to me. We put the ball in their court and that sort of thing. And so that's kind of what I do to help convert on that one area. But you could use it for replying back on DMs. You can use it for emails on Gmail. You can use it for other automation systems as part of your process. There's quite a bit on that. So I'll reopen up. I'll reopen up the set of slides, and so that's the video portion of it. Now, The other thing is how to get over the fear of the camera. So we got 3 things here, and Jessica, you're going to take it over, but it's really about understanding your feelings, your fear, of going on camera, prepping for success, and repetition. And after that, we'll talk about a 3-day challenge. Now, I put these set of slides together the other day, so I have to remember what the important parts are. But I think on this slide here, these are the major areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you the primary, and we'll have the other ones right here.
All right, yes. So really it's understanding your fear. And let's just normalize it. Most people have a fear of public speaking and even more a fear of the camera because public speaking could be a live thing, but when you're recorded, you know deep down inside that's something that is going to be around for history. It could outlive you, right? So understanding where does this fear come from? And it's actually a caveman programming that's in our brains, and we're still at default of it. And where it really came in, where it stems from is we have not always been as humans at the top of the food chain. There was a time, in fact, not too long ago, when a saber-toothed tiger was actually a very big worry in humans' lives. And so your safety depended on you being in a large group. We were like a big bunch of gazelles, right?
Hmm.
And so doing something that ostracized yourself from the group meant your survival was at risk. So if you can really think about that, oh God, that is why I have this fear of being judged, is
Mm-hmm.
because if people don't like me, I might be all alone. And if I'm all alone, my survival is at risk. That's the thing we need to override. But to understand your fear, you kind of have to put yourself in those positions to understand if you are if you have one of these 4 automatic response systems. So you may have heard the story of the cow and the buffalo. And I added an ostrich and an eagle. So we're out in the plains of the US, the Great Plains, and a big storm is coming. Animals intrinsically do certain things when a storm comes. So when a big storm comes, the cows, they see the storm and they're like, "Oh my God, storm!" And they start running away from it. And they are trying to get, as far away as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, on the other hand, they see the storm and they're like, not today's storm. And they go right through it. And they handle the storm and they get on the other side. So they're not constantly with the storm. And then
Right.
there's the ostrich that's just like, I'm going to pretend the storm's not here. Storm is not here. And I'm just going to stay right here where I am. And I'm going to freeze and not do anything. And then there are the eagles that rise above the storm and they let the storm pass. So, first, are you a fight, flight, or freeze kind of energy person?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you someone that can rise above that need to be liked by everyone else and just let the storm happen below you? And truly, where we want to get to is being an eagle in the
Mm-hmm.
storm, where we're detached from that need to be liked and approved. You really have to get to the point where you pre-approve yourself before you go on camera, before you deliver your information. And can I tell you that pre-approval verbiage I got from Oprah Winfrey. She does an I am statement daily where she says, I am pre-approved. Oprah Winfrey. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for you, right? So you need to understand, what do you do in stressful situations? Now, when I was a baby broadcaster and I was doing the weather and I was hyperventilating and having these panic attacks visibly on air, my news director gave me a really big piece of advice. And he said, okay, first of all, you're hyperventilating and we can hear it in the microphone because in between each word, you are breathing. So you need to understand that when you get nervous, your body will hold its breath. And your breath is the most important thing that you do all day, every day. Think about it. You can go without water for a while, you can go without food for days. How long can you go out without breath? Not very long.
Not very
So
long. No.
you gotta understand how you breathe in a stressful situation. And one of the easiest ways to get yourself, he said to me, is take a yoga class. I want you to go take a yoga class and just, it's a safe space. You're not in front of anyone that's judging you, and you can understand how you're breathing and how you can deal with your energy. So you might not want to do
That's
yoga,
kind of
and
funny
that's
because in
fine,
yoga class, I just try to touch my toes. I can't even do that.
right?
I'm
Well,
so
I'm actually
unflexible. I'm like, ugh.
this actually made such an impact on me that I actually got my yoga certification. And now I can tell you that you want to look for a yoga class where you hold the poses for a really long time. That's where you're going to find the magic. But the other
Yeah.
thing is you can do the same thing by going on Skoop and sending messages to people that you know and that you know won't judge you. All right. So you want to try to get yourself into as many situations where your heart rate is starting to raise so you can witness in a safe place how you react to that and
That
then
makes
come up
sense.
with your own way of calming yourself down. And so one of the easiest things to do is to breathe, right? So just start focusing on your breathing.
Mhm.
I do a little bit of a ritual before I go on camera. I write out I write 8 things that I'm grateful for. It gets me in a
Mm.
very positive mood. And then I start writing out who the best version I am. So I am strong. I am confident. I am the one they want. And that way you are defining yourself in that moment and you're calling your best self to come forward. And then do
Mhm.
literally like 15 seconds of visualizing it going well. You will automatically start yourself off in a more successful space than if you just show up, right? The other thing is it's okay if you're nervous and if you have energy. Part of it is you need to, handle that energy, right? So sometimes you need to do a couple jumping jacks to get it out.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need to find something to hold. And I'm using a bobby pin right here, but very often I use my rings. I
Mhm.
fidget with my rings. You need a fidget spinner to pull that energy in so that it's not freaking out, right? Pull
Yeah.
that energy in and manage that energy. And then also what you eat is really important. So if you are somebody that is susceptible to um being somebody that has panic attacks or has this nervous energy, be careful about caffeine. Caffeine
Mhm.
and substances like alcohol or drugs, stay clear away from them because they will be amplified when that nervous energy comes in.
Mhm.
And trust me, you don't want that when you're going on
I
camera
think
at
what you're
all.
saying
And
makes a
and this
lot of sense. The feedback, and everyone feel free with their experience with video, but the feedback that I receive from clients is that they just don't feel comfortable because, for example, they'll look at a name and a picture and won't they can't bridge the gap of this is a person you're talking to, although they're not physically in front of you. They have a hard time conveying a message if the person's not right in front of them. So if we have a Zoom meeting or like this, you and I are talking, and it's very easy to do. And I think that is the gap. And I don't know if they're not people are not so much afraid all the time. They're more just uncomfortable. Maybe they're related, but they're just
well,
uncomfortable because it seems very unnatural to them. I'm just repeating what was told to me. And so, and
yeah.
I do think what you're saying is mentally preparing is very important. Um, and then maybe we can talk about visualizing that. For me, I just skip the step and I just do it, so I don't really think about, like, I don't even know what the steps are. And so if I'm looking at a picture and a description of the person, I already know what to say, but that's just me. So how do people get over that? I guess it's mentally preparing and helping with visualizing. Maybe you need to call it as an action. You need to visualize who that person is and what they do, and keep it very candid and short. Or what would your recommendations be, Jessica?
Well, I think first of all, you have to understand like why is there an uncomfortableness? And again, it's part of that you're afraid that they're going to judge
Mhm.
you and that you're unsafe.
Yeah, okay.
So, the best thing, and by the way, that is also very normal. A camera, and I'm looking in the camera
Mhm.
lens right now, so I'm not looking at your eyesight or your photo or your video right now, Troy. And the reason why is you want to make direct eye contact with the person who's watching the
Mhm.
video. So first of all, you want to look into that
Mhm.
lens. So you're not looking at your screen or their picture.
I'm actually
And,
I'm actually looking at
to
the
be
screen.
honest, and everybody does it all the
Yeah.
time, but you wouldn't do it in a normal
Yeah.
conversation. And the difference in the power of me delivering a message to my lens versus me looking here. And to be honest, when people look at themselves, a lot of times they start playing with their
Mhm.
hair, and you on the
No,
receiving
you
end of
see that.
that, all of a sudden their focus is
Mhm.
split, and that you're not the center of the attention, and you as the receiver of that will then also be like, well, if you're not going to give me 100%, I'm also going to just pick up this bobby pin and not really focus on what you're saying. But when they're in your face and they're talking to the lens, it's totally
Wow.
different. So you're looking in the lens, but you're still like, oh my God, I'm looking in the lens, but I don't know what to say. Think of whoever it is, assume that they're your
Mm.
friend and assume that they want this information. So, how would you talk to a friend that wants your information, or a raving fan, right? So, if I was giving you a direct message through
Mhm.
Skoop, I would be like, "Hey, Troy, so good to see you. Thank you for
Mm.
connecting. I'm really excited to chat with you about XYZ. I see you've done these three things. Go ahead and check out my profile. And if you think that we would be a good fit, message me back. I look forward to talking to
Mhm.
you."
Mhm.
Right? Because that is me assuming the best, me
That's a good
assuming
point.
that you're gonna like what you see. You're gonna be friends with me. When you don't come with that, and you're like, so yeah, Troy, I looked at your profile, and thank you for connecting. And I've done a lot of stuff, and I see you've done a lot of stuff. And yeah, check it out. And if you're interested in getting in touch, just hit me up.
You know, the
You
energy
know, there's a
level was totally different. So you were very concise with the first message, and the other was nonchalant. Like I want to say nonchalant, a little loosey goosey. And so it wasn't sales so much as more that I'm intact, and it's taking a little bit of charge and being very, I wouldn't say authentic, but being very concise and well put together, I guess. And I think people respect that. Um, I always,
Absolutely. And let me just tell you, that is so important
Mhm.
because your most valuable asset is your time. And on video, if you develop a reputation of wasting someone's time, they're going to
Mhm.
stop investing theirs in it, right? So
Mhm.
if I take a long time to get to my point, and I tell you a lot of things that don't really apply to me, the next time they see your posts, they'll keep scrolling, right?
Because
You
it has no
especially
value to them at that point.
exactly, because it's
Got
all
it.
about you. So
Yeah.
you got to keep it them focused, and you got to have your stuff together. And I think this is really important because people, if they're going to invest money with you, they've
Mhm.
got to know that you're buttoned up, that you're put together, that you are focused on them,
Mhm.
that you're worth the investment. So all of those things are really important to consider. Now, I don't want to make you nervous,
Mhm.
but just, assume that they're going to like you. Treat their time as it's super valuable. Keep the energy and the focus on them, and I promise you will see magic happen.
So I would also think that the same way you would like, I don't even do voicemails anymore, so I don't know if this is relevant or not. But we have a voicemail on our phone, but I don't think people really use it because text has taken over. But when I did make a voicemail, I would think of the same as the video. The only difference is seeing your face. And I think that is the major issue with a lot of people because if you had to leave a voicemail with someone about a very particular thing, you do that, right? I said, well, think about that when you're doing the video, just be concise. And if you don't like it, just hit replay and or redo and create a new one. And I think it's okay to make mistakes. the little fidgeting or things like that don't look perfect because uh, they're dealing with another person and they want to see some kind of connection. People want to connect. They don't want to get hustled. They don't want to be sold. They want to connect, and they want to see some similarity. And some similarities can be on your profile, could be in your video. For example, in the video, when you tell them, I really appreciate the connection. I know you do A, B, and C. You might want to even mention a little bit about yourself to kind of close the gap. Like, okay, he does this, I do that. It was nice enough for him to actually put a video together. That's great. Oh, he does have a good network. Maybe I'll check him out. So you want to give them a reason to respond. You want to put the ball in their court, so it's actually their decision. You want them to pre-qualify themselves, and in order to do that, you just have to do the things that you talked about. Be very concise. I liked how you put it together, and I don't think people are used to that. So.
Right. And one of the things that you said is,
Oh, and
yes,
speaking of bad habits, I totally doing opposite of what you've explained.
yeah.
This is my bad habit. So
Well, some people need an energy boost, right? There's a difference. Some people have excess energy, some people need an energy boost. So if that's working for you, go
yeah.
through it. It's, the third point was practice.
Hmm.
Practice makes perfect, but bad practice makes bad habits. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you want to make sure that you're testing your things. And here's the thing, it's not about being precise and every
Hmm.
word being perfect, because people want to see the human side. Like you said, you showing up raw and real and authentic will be
Hmm.
so much better than you actually saying every single word perfectly in 90 seconds or less. As we venture into this world of AI and robots, people are actually looking for that human quality. They're looking for
Hmm.
the kinks in the armor. And I do a video in my video practice group where I'm in my PJs, no makeup on, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to normalize that I don't want to go on camera every day. I don't want to
Hmm.
have to do my hair and throw on makeup. Those are the videos that get the most traction
Hmm.
because it's human. But here's
Hmm.
the thing is that you
Hmm.
want to make sure that, first of all, you start to practice, get yourself on video, understand what happens to you when you get stressed, and if you have that nervous energy and that flight, fight, freeze, or fly above response system.
Hmm.
Understand your energy
Hmm.
response system. Prep for success. Find the tools that work for you, and then repeat, repeat, repeat. Repetition is key, and you want to make sure that you're starting to share your message and getting on video way before you need to do it in a big way, which is
Hmm.
why Skoop is so awesome. We've
Yeah.
already
Thank you.
established that it's the best way for people to get to know, trust, and like you. Start sending people videos on a regular basis. My clients, I tell them, send people happy birthday messages. People
Hmm.
love that stuff. And a lot of
Hmm.
people aren't doing this. Just send a quick video message to someone saying happy birthday. It's super easy. And they say that that is one of the things that made them feel more comfortable and conversational on camera, because it's very easy. Hey, Troy, it's Jessica. I noticed today was your birthday, so I just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. I hope this is the best trip around the sun yet.
I
Have a good
never
day.
would thought to say the
And
best
that's
trip
it.
around the sun. That's actually pretty good. But you come across as very authentic and uh, uh, how do you say it? You come off as like a real person versus you're put together a little better than most of us. Let's say that because of all the practice that you've put on there. And so I see right here is repetition, and I just why I opened up this slide here. And so we first talked about the caveman programming for safety. Your brain doesn't really want you to do new stuff because he wants to keep you safe. That's the gist of it. And
Yeah, it doesn't want you to put
yeah,
yourself out there. It doesn't want you to go in the spotlight. That's why people get nervous singing. Like, what if people
yeah.
hate our voice? They're going to ostracise us. We're going to die.
And so
So
we
you
have
got
to
to
realize we
override
will
that
not
system.
die. We're not going to get eaten by a
Hmm.
saber-toothed tiger. People are very
You're going to be
forgiving.
fine.
Look at me. I barely have a personality, and I do this stuff. And then of course testing your energy, emergency broadcasting system. So I don't know, did we go through that? So a lot of that stuff is about your
Yep.
kind of your management and your can you explain C a little better?
Yeah. So C is that, test how your emergency system goes off
That's a
when you're
better way to
about to
put
broadcast. So like, get yourself on camera, get yourself into a yoga class or something that
it.
seems stressful.
So get out your comfort zone. So
Call in
something that you don't feel comfortable, because
exactly.
that's a
Ask
way to
someone.
really grow.
Exactly. And it could be if, going up and asking somebody out or just talking to somebody at a
Mhm.
networking event makes you nervous, do that. Do that more often and just start to witness what happens in your body. Do you start to get hot? Do you start
Mhm.
to stutter? Do you start to shake? And then when that's happening, tell yourself you're going to be okay. And just be like, "Oh my God, this is kind of amazing that I'm doing this." And the more you do it and you prove to your body you're safe, no one's going to eat you, then your body starts to calm down,
Mhm.
right? So that's why, practice over. If you do
Mhm.
this for 30 days, I promise you, when you come back and talk to me, you're going to be fine. Like I have a 30-day challenge and it's hard to get
Yeah.
on video every single day, but by 12, 13, 14, day 12, 13, 14, people are like, I feel great on
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
Now I'm just fine tuning it.
So
Now
it's a
I'm
lot
just
of it's a
learning
lot of
how to be
confident
professional.
boosting to get on camera and just do it. And so it sounds like we've talked about number one, understanding what the fear is, and just realizing that, acknowledging it, like, okay, I get it. It's not so mysterious anymore, and I just need to go out and get it. And number two is, um, how can I prepare for that success? How can I, have this mindset of that I will do well, take it easy, set things in place. Don't take a lot of caffeine if you are susceptible to that, and then how to manage your energy. And so this is kind of mentally preparing. Some people like to meditate, some people like to do yoga. You really have to have the right mindset. Sometimes you don't always want to jump into it if you're not prepped. So it's a little bit of prepping. And number three is what you talked about, eye contact. And I'm really bad at that because um, the way I'm built, I tend not to look people in the eye because that's just I'm a little weirdo like that. And so I have to be aware of that and look at the person when I'm talking to them, because it's a sign of respect and it's a sign of paying attention. And then we didn't talk about your composite, and we didn't talk about timing. So what do we talking about shot composition? What do you? Mhm.
Well, shot shot composition, and I'll just I have a platform that my camera goes on, but a lot of people
Oh
do
yeah, like up
videos
their
like
nose.
this, right? And right, especially if I'm talking to you about like a teaching moment or a coach or an
Hmm.
authoritative position, I'm
Hmm.
literally looking down on you.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah.
like that, right? Same thing. If you're
Hmm.
too far up, I'm looking up to you, and this is not a
Hmm.
position of authority. So that's why you want to try to look people
Hmm.
directly in the eye so that you are eye to eye. Like
Hmm.
we're on the same level here, right? And so often I see people with like
Yeah.
massive headroom. And this is a little more important for social media if you're
Hmm.
doing like a reel. A lot of the text happens right
Yeah.
here. We don't want that on
Yeah.
your face. So shot composition is more important than you think. And then timing, we did talk about it a little bit that, understand that your audience, their most valuable
Hmm.
asset is their time. And you do not want to start a reputation out of being someone that wastes someone's time. You're a professional, and especially if you're using this for business, you want to show up professional, like you have your stuff together, like you know what you're doing, you know that you have something valuable that solves their problem or could make their business better. And you're not going to waste their time by talking about a lot of like, oh my God, the
Hmm.
traffic here, or the weather here, or do this or that. You want to get to the heart of it. You want to
Hmm.
add value from the get-go. So a lot of times I say, you want to sandwich
Hmm.
your message. Hey, it's Jessica. I just wanted to talk to you about A, B, and C. Here's A, here's
Concise.
B, here's C. And so just,
I'm
to wrap it
realizing I'm
up,
looking at
you want
you
to
and
do
not the
A, B,
camera.
C.
I'm making the same bad habits, but I'm trying to pay attention to you, and I'm realizing my eyes are shifted over here, but I'm really looking at you. But
Well,
this is different because we're
and you
talking to
and
each other, though. I
you'll
understand.
Right. You'll become more conscious of it. In a Zoom meeting or a meeting like this, like of course I need to
Yeah.
look at you for reference. But when you're talking, I'm going to look at you. But if I want to make a power move, and especially if I'm just
Oh,
sending
yeah.
you a personal message, that eye contact is key. It like hooks people
Mhm.
in and grabs them. And so that's where it's like, if think about it, if you were having a one-on-one conversation with me, if you were sitting
Mhm.
across from me at my desk and you weren't making eye contact with me, that would be really uncomfortable. We think of the
Mhm.
recipient of your message. How are they going to feel like you think that they're important, that you think that they have potential of working with you? um your future client is not going to feel great about a relationship with you or possibly working with you if from the get-go they don't feel like they're a priority, they don't think that you value their time, they
Mhm.
don't think that you have all your stuff together and you could be the one to lead them to success. So we want to bring all of that with us in small little nuances as we deliver our message.
So it's all about them, not about
Exactly.
us. It's
It's all
how we
about
can
them.
provide value to them. And value is a very important thing because what's value to me is not necessarily valuable to them. And so having those cues, I guess, was super important. The other thing is timing for candid videos. And we have candid videos that you send on DMs and emails. And then you have your posts and stuff. But they're pretty close to the same time. I think a candid video should be 20 seconds, 40 seconds, maybe 60 seconds at the longest. And I tend to be on the longer end. I should shorten mine up myself. And then content are usually 30 seconds to a minute and a half. And so the timing has to be short enough, but long enough to provide value so they can understand the message and not rushed. But it has to be short enough so they can absorb it. Because if you do any kind of services, you're the expert at everything you do. They're not. And so if you uh, talk with with certain lingos and things like that, and certain words they don't understand, you're talking over them, and they're not providing value. So you have to put yourself in their shoes. Where is their pain? Where's their interest? What's going to help them? And sometimes it may not be my service. It may be something else that I know or a person that I know. And when I talk to them, I had a meeting yesterday, and I talked to her, and it was just a group meeting, and she was the only one that showed up because sometimes it's one person, sometimes it's 15 people. And she showed up, and she says, "Yeah, I'm having this problem with this other thing, totally unrelated to like Skoop, right? It was she had a website problem." I said, "Oh yeah, this is the problem." Can you fix it?" Well, I just got a new client because I have a vast experience in website design, and I said, look, this is the problem, and this is why you're having the issue. You just need a redo for the website and redesign it and check out your hosting. So if the website is not proper and you're pushing people to the website, you probably need something to help you convert. And she was very excited. And instead of the LinkedIn stuff, I just helped her with that. And she says, well, I want you to help me with the LinkedIn stuff. I had to slow her down. I said, let's just fix your immediate problem first, because I don't want to take all your money and we got 5 things going. I just met you. I didn't say that, but in my mind, I like, let's do a small little project and let me help you with that small project first. Let's have success with that. And then if you need me to, bring you on as a LinkedIn, business client, then we can do that. And so I think you need to go sometimes slow things down or go at the speed where they feel comfortable and you feel comfortable too. Because the worst thing you can do is take on the wrong client, because that will block you from getting any other business. I had one issue years ago that they just bamboozled me, and I had to all the money that was paid was pulled out of the credit card, and so they reversed it, and it just happened to be that that person really bad. So I learned my lesson, and I tightened up my agreement, simplified it, and made sure that certain things happen a certain way. So you'll learn to deal with people that have some of your same values. And so I really enjoy that, and I think that when you go out and you just want to see if there's an item of support, people really appreciate that.
Yeah. And going back to like attracting the perfect client, be like this is your permission to be 100% you,
Mm.
very real and authentic. Dress exactly the way you feel comfortable, do your hair, your makeup, whatever. Use the lingo that you feel most comfortable, because here's the thing, the people who are attracted to that will be attracted to that, and the people who aren't will go away. So you
Mhm.
will get your perfect client. When we're trying to be someone else, when we're trying to dress in a way that we wouldn't normally dress, or use verbiage that we wouldn't use, and this is really important for everybody who uses so much chat gpt now, you're attracting the people that are attracted to that. But if that
Mhm.
isn't you, there can be that disconnect. So this is your permission to just be you. The youest you that you can possibly bring to the table is the perfect person to put on video. 100%.
Awesome. We have gone way over time, and I think it's partly my fault. So I have to apologize. But this is what I'm going to do here. At the end of the video, there's one link. So again, if you get access to Skoop, download it, use it. It's free. Use the code. Go to that link. It'll go to a page, and there'll be a green button. Just download it, start using it. If you do get this today, I'll track it, and I'll shoot you an email, and I'll give you access to our Tuesdays and Thursday meetings. And I will also give you this set of slides that has Jessica's information and my information. And as far as the challenge, let's speak on that quite quickly.
Yes. So here's the thing. If you found value in this and you understand, like, wow, I do need to get on camera and I need to get over my fear, do this now, right away. Don't put it off, because your mindset is right. So the first day, all you have to do is tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do. So, like, I would say, hey everyone, I'm Jessica York. I'm from Los Angeles. I am a media coach, and I have a company called Broadcast Like a Badass. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out. That's it. Like, so quick and easy, right? Day two, give us a tip from your zone of genius. So for me, it might be, if you're having a hard time getting on camera, just go ahead and shoot your mom a happy birthday message, and then look at your Rolodex and shoot everybody a happy birthday message for the next 20 days, and see how that makes you feel more comfortable, right? Easy, easy, a ton of them from your zone of genius. And honestly, you want to start getting used to sharing these messages on video, because
Mhm.
that's what you're going to be doing when you
Oh, I
are
do have
coaching
a
someone.
caveat. Feel free to connect with us. So if you want to send the video to us, we'll go ahead and give you feedback. Just make sure when you send a connection on LinkedIn, you say that I saw you on the show, and they say, okay,
Yes.
we'll accept it. And that way you can do this 3-day challenge. The third day is one thing I made up myself, is what I showed earlier on. If you have someone on the network and you want to send them a welcome message, you can send it to us as well, because we just connected. But I have 4 simple steps. When you're actually connecting with someone, or you've connected with someone and you want to send them a welcome message, just look at their profile first, talk about them, connect any dots or any conversation parts between what they do and what's interesting to you, or what may relate to you, and do a call to action. And my call to action is, take a look at my LinkedIn profile. And if they see what they like, or if they see any dots to connect there, feel free to send me your booking link and I'll schedule some time with you. I'm always open for a conversation, especially for my newer connections, and you just want to be sincere and be open. And not everyone's going to reply, but having that practice on there, you'll get a much better conversion with the right people because they self-qualify versus doing the gunshot method where you're sending all these messages out there and it may or may not connect with someone, and it only connects with them because they have a super big pain needing to solve. They don't want to. If you're not interested in building a relationship, then you're probably not interested in actually having a successful business.
Yeah, and you can do day 3 all day long, to every
Mhm.
single one of your LinkedIn profile connections. The other great thing is that it gets you on Skoop right away. So you can determine if this is a tool that works well for you.
Yes, definitely. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna close this out, but I'm gonna stay open for a few minutes for anyone that has questions in the chat. And so this right here is the actual URL. It's just scoopapp.com/demo, SKOOPAPP. And then once you go there, there's going to be a little a page with a demo, and you can take a look at that anytime. Just get Skoop now for free and use this code and get started. So feel free to connect with me. Feel free to connect with Jessica. And if you don't know Jessica's information, you're on the page right now. So it'll have Jessica's information on there. And just send us a connection invite if you don't want to send it to other people. We'll also give you access to the software for free. We'll give you access to Tuesdays and Thursdays meetings for consultation. There's no charge for any of that. You'll get our feedback. And then if you need any help with any other items, definitely let us know. All right. So, Jessica, any last words of wisdom?
Just thank you for being here, and please don't hesitate to reach out, get in touch. Video is such a powerful tool in your business, and what Skoop can do for your business is really game changing.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I've learned quite a bit. I kind of knew some of the stuff, but it's great that you pointed out. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt a little embarrassed because I was like, oh, I know this stuff. I should do some of the stuff, but it really feels good to reignite people that know things better than I do. So I do appreciate your time, Jessica. Thank you
Likewise.
very much.
And thank you, Troy. Thank you so much for your time here. And no, I feel the same way when you talk about LinkedIn profiles and getting your calendar set up. And so it's just two separate zones of genius.
Thank you. Well, I'll fix up your profile if you need to. Just let me know.
Awesome. Will do.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.